What's going on YouTube? In this video, we're going to be talking about coaching adjustments. If you're a beginner to Madden, I recommend watching the whole video. You'll learn some things you probably didn't know. If you're a more advanced player and you're trying to learn specific things or get better at specific things, there'll be time codes in the description below. Like I know a lot of people want to know about zone drops. So if you want to skip to that part of the video, you can do that. Right now we're rocking a green screen. We're back into the gaming / office area, but we're still working on the background. So for now, it's going to be green screen for me. Not a big fan of it, but it is what it is. With that being said, let's go ahead into these coaching adjustments. Hopefully y'all can learn something from this. Let's get it. All right, first things first, how to get to your coaching adjustments. This is for next gen. It's different for current gen, so I'm speaking more for next gen on this one. How to get to your coaching adjustments, you're gonna click RT, which is the right stick down, and that's gonna bring up your coaching adjustments. So on offense, you have 4 different adjustments you can make. Deep pass catching, intermediate pass catching, blocking, and ball carrier. The top 3 you really wouldn't mess with too much. Ball carrier for sure. Like on kickoff returns, I would definitely put this on conservative, or just throughout the game keep it on conservative. Prevent you from getting fumbles throughout the game, especially if they got big hitters on the other side. If you're looking to create like a highlight reel, you're trying to get glitchy with it, aggressive, you will feel the difference on how you move with the ball carrier. But if you take 2 bad hits, you will fumble the ball, possibly in 1 hit. When they say increased fumble chances, they really mean it on that one. So take that one at your own risk, try it out. If you want to try blocking, you can change those as well. Me personally, I've only messed with ball carrier. I don't see the need for the other ones. So that's going to be it for the offense. We're going to jump into the defensive side of coaching adjustments, and then we'll show you how those work out on the field. All right, so this is going to be the defensive coaching adjustments. It's a little bit longer list than offense, but let's go ahead and go through the list right here. First one is auto flip. If you know what you're doing, you can turn auto flip off. If you don't know what you're doing, I would leave it on. That's just my opinion. Auto alignment default. So like, let's say you put it on base defense. So whatever the picture looks like in the defense you pick, that's how your defense is going to line up. They're going to be in their spots that they are on the picture. The difference is with man, so you're going to line up with the receiver, especially if it's in man coverage. They're going to line up in front of whoever they're guarding. Now, even if they're in a zone, they might line up in front of a man, even though it's not man coverage, if that makes sense. So it's going to look like man coverage, but they're still going to go into a zone. You can leave that on default. Once again, these are just things that you need to try yourself, see if you like. I do actually personally like putting it on man on certain situations, but default is also good. I mean, honestly, all 3 of them you can work with. My personal favorite is man, but I usually run default for the most part. Ball in the air defense, my favorite and go-to is definitely SWAT ball, but this is a preference as well. Some people do like play receiver, some people do like play ball. It just depends on how you like to play. Now you need to understand what you're picking. Play ball means that they're gonna go for the ball. If it's a jump ball situation, they're gonna try to act like they're a receiver and they're gonna go for the ball, which sounds promising, but it can also mess up too. And you can go for the ball, completely miss the ball, and the receiver's gonna be gone. Play receiver is basically they're not gonna let the receiver catch the ball, but they're gonna be more focused on knocking the ball out of the receiver's hands, if that makes sense. So the receiver might have a chance to get to the ball, but that cornerback or safety is going to wait, and then they're going to try to knock it out of the ball, knock it out of the receiver's hands. I'm sorry. Now, SWAT ball is they're basically not going for a pick, so they're not going to get put in bad animations like they would trying to intercept the ball. You'll probably get better animations because you're just trying to swat the ball. Now, that doesn't mean you can't pick the ball still, because you can still pick the ball with SWAT ball. I just think you get better animations with SWAT ball than you do playing ball. Cornerback matchup, I think this is probably the one that people mess with the most. Regular head-to-head, I would probably put it by speed. But let's say you're in MUT where everybody's damn near 99 speed. I would recommend putting it by height. You can put it by overall. I don't think anybody that I've ever played or know has ever put it by overall. It's either speed. Me personally, MUT, I put it by height. Route running is also a good one. So like that'll be I How good is their route running compared to how good is the man coverage and things like that. So it would be like man coverage versus route running type deal. That's not a bad one to do either. But me personally, I either do it by speed or by height. I don't think I've ever put it by depth chart. So that's it for the cornerback matchup part. Option defense, my go-to is definitely conservative. I like my players to focus on the quarterback. So let's say that they go into a play action. When you're blitzing, they're not going to go for the running back. They're going to go for the quarterback. And it's my job to pick up the running back. So I'm going to use my user to make sure that the running back doesn't get anywhere he's supposed to be getting. And then, you know, my outside blitzers, they're going to focus on going to the quarterback. So that's what I prefer. Some people prefer it the other way. Some people prefer where their focus is going to be the running back. So whenever they're blitzing, all their computers are going to go towards the running back, and it'll be your job to go for the quarterback. The reason I prefer conservative though is because for the most part, people are play action and they're not running the ball. Like, not a lot of people run the ball in Madden. So whenever they're doing that play action, I want to make sure I get to the quarterback and, you know, he doesn't get that extra time because I went for the running back and it wasn't even a running play. So that's my take on it. Like I said, you got to try these things out on yourself, see what you like. That's just my preference. Strip ball, I leave it on balance. If you're in a situation to where, you know, you need to get the ball back, put it on aggressive. Putting it on aggressive though, also you're taking a chance of getting a face mask call, and they call a lot of face mask calls. So like I said, that's the only time you would really want to put it on. That is, you know, some people put it on when it comes to kick returns, or, you know, it's fourth quarter and they're up by 3 and you need to get the ball back so you can score. Put it on aggressive, try to get that ball back. At that point, you know, you're not really worried about penalties. But for the most part, I like to just keep it on balance. Tackling is another preference. I usually keep mine on balance. Some people put it on conservative. A lot of people actually put it on aggressive. And what that allows your computer to do is go for hit sticks. But you have, you know, a higher chance of getting tackles broken, or you're getting juked by juke moves or spin moves. So everything has their pros and cons. Like I said, it's just on how you play and what you're used to. You know, you got to try things out to make sure things fit you. For the most part, I'm going to leave it on balance. All right, let's go ahead and get into some zone drops. You have your flats, those are your baby blue zones. You have your curl flats, those are going to be your purple zones. And you have your hooks, those are going to be your yellow zones. And on all 3 of these zones, you have an option to go between 0 to 30 yards off the ball. So basically, what that means, let's say you put your flats at 30. Whenever the quarterback calls hut, that means that flat is going to drop back 30 yards. That's going to be his first movement to just drop straight back. Let's say you put it at 0. So what that's going to do, let's say you have a cornerback all 5 yards to 10 yards off the ball. Whenever the quarterback calls hut, he's going to come straight up to the line of scrimmage and he's going to play his zone right there. Like, you know, those tight ends doing those straight flat routes, that's what you're going to be guarding. Or the running back doing the straight flat routes, that's what you're going to be guarding. So we'll get onto the field and we'll show you what it looks like. First, I'm going to put all my zone drops at 0. So I'm going to put my flats at 0. I'm going to put my curl flats at 0. And I'm going to put my hooks at 0. And we'll get onto the field and you're going to see what that looks like. All right, so I have a flat out there, I have a curl flat, and I also have hook zones out there, and they're all at 0. The only ones that aren't on those zones are basically the safeties. And pay attention to what all those players do. As soon as he calls hut, they all drop down. They all go down to the line of scrimmage at the 0-yard mark. Now, this could be good if you're going against somebody that's running heavy, but you can see how easy it is just to throw over everybody's head. Yeah, they're guarding flats pretty good. Nothing's going to get caught on the line of scrimmage, but anything past 3 yards, like the slant right there, he gets over their heads real easy. I would never recommend putting all your zones at 0, but I just wanted to show you what it does. So let's go ahead and put them at 30 and you'll see the difference. All right, this is with all your zones at 30 yards. Pay attention to what the defense does differently from being at 0. They all drop back. You know, nobody's guarding any type of flat route, you know, 5 and in. Anything short is going to get caught. It'll be easy yardage for your opponent. Now, a couple of situations where you would want to do this, like say it's 4th and 30 and they decide to go for it. It would be smart to put all your zones at 30 yards. So that's one of the times that you would do something like that. But if you know, it's 7 to 7, it's 1st and 10, there's no reason to put all your zones at 30 yards. Okay, this is a little bit more reasonable. I have my flats at 5. I have my curl flats at I think 15, and I have my hooks at 10. Now, I wouldn't normally run my defense like this if I'm in a zone, but you can see it's a little more balanced. You're a little bit more around the field. You can easily get stuff like that with your user. You know, you would probably be playing that middle linebacker. You would have been able to pick up that drag route right there. It's more reasonable. You know, you have your zones in different levels of the field, and that's the point. Like, you want to be able to guard different levels of the field. And depending on your opponent, you know, that's when you'll start changing things up. All right, for the most part on defense, I run man coverage. I wasn't able to set up how I wanted to, but normally I put this outside linebacker on a flat. Whatever side the running back's on, I usually like to put them on a flat. And I put my flats at 0, and this is why I put them at 0 right here. The running back didn't go out for a route, but you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So as soon as they call hut, that defensive end or outside linebacker, he's straight shot to the sideline. He's, you know, it's the quickest way to guard any type of flat, and you can see he was there to guard that 5 and out or whatever route that was right there. He's right there to guard something like that. Now see where the this receiver caught the ball. If I would have put a curl flat at 25, which I normally would, I normally have some type of flat and curl flat on the field. And if I'm not guarding that side of the field, that's where I'm gonna have my curl flat. So I would have had the flat shut down right there, and then I would have had that receiver wouldn't have been able to make that catch. And then I would be guarding the other side of the field with my user. So that's normally, you know, how I would play my defense, because I'm normally in man and I'll throw zones in there to help me. And that's how I adjust my zone drops and things like that.